All right, you're watching TVC Breakfast. Let's get to our next discussion. Now, all over the world, art continues to make a difference in people's lives. It is a sum total of all our expressions of creativity. And in most cases, it involves a visual representation of skills through works that can be appreciated for its beauty or emotional power. And this is where music comes, and no one can deny the power the music holds for soothing or entertainment. Now, developing the art of singing will require love of music and commitment to improve one's craft. But in the end, having such a fantastic gift is quite thrilling, especially to a listening audience. All right. Joining us on Zoom is the director of Choir Festival, Dr. Okoyemi Ashaolu. Dr. Ashaolu, good morning. It's good to have you join us this morning.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Great. Now, let's talk about music. And this is what you have been doing for so many years. And as it is, a lot of people underestimate the power of music and how it has the power to heal, has the power to bring people together, has the power to bond people and all of that. Now, make us understand. Let's start from there. How do you explain to us the power of music before we even delve into some of the other areas that we need to know?
Well, thank you, Mike. The power of music can't be explained by anyone. And in music study, for example, we have a special area now called music therapy, whereby music is used for healing, for all sorts of things. In some developed countries, in some hospitals and recovery centers, you find music as something that is used to heal and for recovery from different types of illness. I remember some years ago, I had a minor surgery. And as I was coming from the surgery myself, as I was wheeled into the recovery room, a particular musical piece was being played on the radio. And it was Antonio Vivaldi's work. And I heard that thing from my subconscious state. And I could relate with it. And I didn't know when I made mention of the composer's name, even in that state that I was. And we realized that, even spiritually, music has a whole lot of things. It oils the path for before the word is preached, and that was why the former Bishop of Lagos in 1956, late Bishop Adamson Adelakun Wells, he said, where preaching had failed, sacred music has led into conversion. And Martin Luther King Jr. said the same thing, that God has a purpose in music, because it has music preached, and we've had a whole lot of things that music has done for a whole lot of people. I remember growing up, it was a thing for us to be part of a choir. And my late father would always insist that I robe on the choir, even if I was going to be the only person that would be in the choir on a Sunday, he would ensure that I'm there. And he had to explain the thing to me one day. He said, it's the same brain that you are using for your studies that you will use to sing. That if you can sing well, you will do well in your studies. I was unable to relate with that thing until so many years later. And I was able to connect with that. The first time I took a solo, which happens to be one of Dr. Frederick Handel's work, the trumpet shall sound. It was about 9 to 11 minutes. And I had to commit everything to memory. And I was like, if I could commit this whole piece to memory, both part 1 and part 2, the trumpet shall sound, and then you go back to part 2 and then back to part 1. And I did that thing, without any musical piece, like that. And he explained it to me that if you will do well in singing, you will do well in your studies. And I never realized my father would always be cross with me. Anytime I refused or I told not to be part of the choir, on a Sunday service, either for communion service or for matins, he would always be angry. And I was like, why is he always like this? But he sat me down one day and he explained that thing to me. And that's one of the things that has actually helped us, to do so many other things, because we did all that passionately at the time we were growing up. And so music has done a whole lot of things when it comes to cognitive development. We have areas of music study that deals with this to music pedagogy, music conducting, choral conducting, and all that. And that's all the things that the FAR Festival is all about. And we're doing a lot in this regard to ensure that we bring back those wonderful good old days.
Right, and I also observe that this forthcoming choir festival that you are involved in also has an element of competition. That it's the second edition. The choir that won the first edition gets an automatic slot, but it's expected that it's going to be a healthy competition. But that part is also very interesting. That yes, it's done in a church, but then to improve the art of singing in churches, this form of healthy competition is also encouraged. Help us understand what your team is looking out for.
Thank you very much. The initiator and the sponsor of this program is His Excellency, the former governor of Ogun State, Otumba Agbenga Daniel. He conceived the idea when he realized the level of singing in most of our churches around here, that there is the need for us to have better singing style and habits. And it didn't just start there. Otumba Agbenga Daniel was a pianist when he was in secondary school. He attended a Baptist Boys High School, Abeokuta. And so when he was in secondary school, he was a college pianist. So he has this thing, this passion, this love for church.
We seem to be losing the audio there, but I know he'll be back shortly. Now, the issue of music and choir, I recall that...
come together.
Okay,
right.
We have him back now. Go ahead, Dr. Shaulu.
All right, sir. Let's come together, let's bring choirs, to sing, and not just sing. They should have a prize that they are going to compete for. And this year, we have 6 choirs who are competing. We have the choir that came first last year, that's Great Remo Chorale. They are in Shagamu. We have New Wine Osam here in Lagos. We have Ever the Chorale from Ibadan. We have the Chamber Chorale from Olabisi Onabanjo University at Goiwe. We have the Emerald Choir from Akure, and the host choir, the Tabernacle Choir. They are going to be, and they've been doing rehearsals for the past 4 months. I've attended virtually all the rehearsals of all the choirs that are going to be performing this year, and I can see that this year's competition is going to be a healthy competition. And the prizes this year, we have a total prize of 6 million naira, with the winner going on with 2 million naira. The first runner-up will take home 1 million naira. The second runner-up would have 700,000. The fourth position would go on with 450. The fifth, 350, and the sixth will go on with 300,000. And not just that alone. We have 7 of 7 choirs. These choirs are from different denominations from Christ Apostolic Church, from Can in Remo, from Can in Ijebu, from the Anglican diocese in Ijebu North, from Anglican diocese in Remo, from the Methodists in Ijebu Axis. So they are all coming as observing choirs. And to be an observing choir, you don't need to be auditioned. And the choirs, these observing choirs, are not just going to just come alone to learn, but they are going.
All right, we lost the audio there again.
Right.
Yeah, well, it's quite interesting. If you sit down in a festival of that kind, I've attended a few in my life before, being from the background of the Methodist Church.
Right.
And when my dad as a bishop, coordinates, give encouragement and support to competitions like that within, and it's really amazing.
I can imagine. I was also about to ask now which field in the choir you were thrown. If the former governor Gbenga Daniel was a pianist,
Yes.
I know many children of clerics also had one or two talents.
No, of course,
I'm
of
sure
course.
time
I
will
had sang in the
eventually
choir.
reveal yours.
Yeah, I sang in the choir so many times,
Right.
and well, all that has left me now. But because we're getting busy with other things.
I'm sure it's in you. It's in you somewhere.
Maybe I'll tell Dr. Shalu to sharpen
To
me up
bring it
again.
out.
All right.
But
Well,
not downplaying what
no, of
you
course.
were
Yeah.
saying.
No, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's very instructive.
Unfortunately, this is where we wrap up now.
Oh, all right.
We feel bad. Oh, okay. Dr. Shalu, we lost your audio at the time, and just in few seconds,
sorry about that.
just give us a wrap of what the festival is about.
Well, thank you very much. The festival is all about improving the art of singing in our churches. And Otumba Gbenga Daniel has done so well by encouraging the choirs. All the choirs that will be participating will be going home with a prize. The observing choirs, we have about 7 of them. They are going to go home with 200,000 naira each. And then that's besides those who are competing. And we will continue to improve this by even organizing workshops, seminars for the choirs subsequently.
Okay.
And we really want to thank you for your support too.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Opeyemi Shaolu, for
Thank you very much.
all that you're doing in that regard. I've sat under your direction in music before, and I know how that feels, when you're doing all of that music. And all of that. It's really amazing.
I can testify as well. Well done.
Thank you, Director of Choir Festival, Dr.
Right.
Opeyemi Shaolu. Thank you for talking to us. Thank you. Yeah.